round of 16 with 6 English sides, and tonight we've lost 2 of 3 competing tonight. Manchester City just didn't get going in the right way, did they, with that red card after 20 minutes and conceding that penalty. It really was a mountain to climb then.
Yeah, well, it was a huge task anyway, to overturn the first leg, and I think they actually started well from an attacking point of view. They created chances, but then obviously defensively they weren't solid enough. They were letting Real Madrid get in behind them, get chances, and obviously the penalty, the red card, makes it almost impossible for them to get through.
What did you make of the way that City set out tonight and attacked this one?
Well, they had a plan, and obviously they didn't plan to have 10 men, and unfortunately that just changed everything. They worked tirelessly though, and they gave it everything. They created chances, which probably wasn't the expectation given they had 10 men. They fought hard. They just faced a team who, I would say, had more answers to the questions. Valverde's first tie, Vinícius tonight was brilliant, and those 2 players decided the game at the end of the day.
And we say it time and time again, don't we? And John said it in his closing remarks there. Come the spring, Real Madrid step up. This is their competition. They know how to flourish.
Yeah, we say it so many times, and there are more teams that have this kind of experience and history as well, which counts in these type of matches. But I think there were some. If you look at both matches, City has created so many chances. If you look at chances by itself, but gave away too many, and you cannot at this stage against players like this, allow yourself to give these chances away, because you will pay the price, and that's happened.
Let's have a look at what turned out to be a pivotal, a seminal moment, really, that red card, and there was no doubt it was the right decision.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great piece of play to start it all off, and you're thinking, keeping one side, he cuts inside in the shots, magnificent, but even the positioning to keep the play going. First touch and bang, you think it's entering the back of the net, and you see Bernardo edge his arm out. He's got his hands behind his back, but instinctively he's gone for the ball. And
but even asking for the offside, that tells about the spirit. Instead of making the run back, right?
Yeah.
There's about 10 seconds here from when Vinícius Júnior hits the post to he gets the ball a second time, and the Manchester midfield players are still not back in the penalty box. They maybe can affect him getting that ball in and getting the shot off. So I think it looks like they put a lot of focus on attacking Real Madrid and not so much on how they work defensively.
Bernardo Silva's never had a red card in his career before tonight, Daniel. Was there anything else he could have done there?
Yeah, we know he could have not had his arm there. But you know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, right?
Do you dive and head it out the way?
Well, if his arms weren't behind his back, maybe it would have been a bit more of anticipation there, but that's the tendency, is to put your arms behind your back.
There's no time. I mean, there's no time. This is just an instinctive gesture, and it is what it is. Wrong place at the wrong time.
And Donnarumma, of course, couldn't save it tonight. He did last week. He was a hero in coming up against that Vinícius penalty, wasn't he? But not tonight.
Yeah, no, and I think Vinícius was outstanding tonight, and he was at the heart of everything. Obviously, he gets his 2 goals, but he was causing Man City problems all evening. So to step up again against Donnarumma, was a big lad in goal, and go the same way. And that's mind games, and he's kept his composure, kept his calmness, and almost killed the type.
Yeah, he's got an excellent record, hasn't he, Donnarumma, with penalties?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Not enough though.
And then
unfortunately.
Vinny got his second eventually, Daniel.
Yes, eventually. As we know, we saw him wheel off in jubilation, and unfortunately for him, it was disallowed. But this one, great timing of the cross. This is what we're used to seeing from Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland over the years. Great cross from Tchouaméni on the first time, and the anticipation, you see the chemistry there. There's a beautiful finish, opening his left foot out, guiding it into the far corner.
That's undefendable. You can't defend that. When the ball gets laid back, it's the right pace on the ball.
First touch.
Laid back, he knows he can cross it first time, and then Vini Júnior just gets his timing right. You cannot defend that. No defender in world football can defend that when it's done like that.
Okay, let's hear from him now. He is with Alex Alger.
Vini, parabéns. O Real Madrid está nos quartos de final da Liga de Campeões. Real Madrid through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Como você avaliaria o jogo de hoje? How do you sum up tonight's game?
Hoje foi grande jogo onde a gente sabia o que a gente tinha que fazer. Viemos aqui para ganhar o jogo e isso era importante para tirar um pouco da pressão dos 3 gols em casa. Claro que era importante, a gente veio mais tranquilo, mais confiante e podemos fazer uma excelente partida e ganhar e seguir ganhando confiança para as quartas de finais.
Well, we weren't under pressure because we scored 3 goals at home. We knew what we needed to do. We knew we still had work to do. And now we've got to just keep going, keep working hard because we're through to the quarterfinals. E depois de perder a penalti da semana passada, after missing last week's penalty, qual feliz de poder marcar hoje? Just how happy you were to score one today?
Muito feliz, porque no Bernabéu o Fred tinha feito 3 gols e eu pedi para ele chutar. E ele não quis tirar, me deu a confiança, eu fui lá e errei. E hoje, mais uma vez, eu pedi para ele tirar, chutar o pênalti. E ele não quis, falou que eu que tinha que tirar porque eu tinha confiança, eu tinha que fazer o gol. E isso é um capitão, é um irmão para mim que sempre me dá a confiança que eu preciso. Fui lá, fiz o gol e saímos daqui com a classificação.
I was really disappointed not to score last week. Well, Fede scored the 3 goals and then I really, really wanted to score that penalty, but it wasn't to be. But he gave me confidence. He told me that today would be the day and well, I was able to score the penalty and I'm really happy about that. Pode explicar a comemoração como se fora chorando? Can you explain your celebration like you were crying?
O futebol é bom que sempre tem uma próxima oportunidade. Na última vez que eu vim aqui, eles falaram sobre mim e hoje eu pude responder fazendo gol, fazendo a comemoração que deve se fazer e que cada um tem a sua vontade. Hoje eu comemorei dessa forma, claro que é nunca desrespeitando a torcida do City, que eu sempre respeito muito, mas sim uma comemoração maneira que eu achei que eu tinha que fazer.
He said, well, the last time I came to Manchester City, they were sort of making fun of me and saying maybe I was crying, that it was about the Ballon d'Or, wasn't it? Well, he said, I wasn't disrespecting the City fans, but it was just a way for me to sort of prove myself to the Manchester City fan base today. Una derrota como Xabi Alonso contra o City esta temporada. You lost to Manchester City this season with Xabi Alonso. 2 vitórias como Álvaro, 2 victories with Álvaro. O time está muito melhor agora? Would you say the team has improved a lot?
Chega nesse momento da temporada onde começa o mata-mata, onde os jogadores do Real Madrid crescem, a torcida cresce junto com a gente, a camisa pesa e isso faz muito importante a gente seguir ganhando confiança. O Mister nos dá toda a liberdade para a gente fazer o que a gente acha. Ele nos dá o caminho correto para fazer um grande jogo. Fizemos 2 grandes jogos, temos que seguir nesse ritmo porque vem o próximo adversário pela frente que vai ser duro de novo.
Yeah, against Bayern Munich, contra Bayern Munich. You were just saying that, yes, we've been growing as a team, getting better and better. It was 2 superb performances against Manchester City under Álvaro Arbeloa, but we are just getting to know each other and playing a lot better than before. Vai ganhar o Real Madrid a Champions este año? Are you going to win this year, the Champions League?
A gente joga para isso.
This is why we play, Vini. Says, parabéns.
Obrigado.
Boa sorte. Good luck. See you soon.
Obrigado.
Perfeito.
Well, he has hit his richest vein of form in terms of scoring at any other point in the season. 8 in the last 10 for him. Players just seem to step up at the right time, don't they, for this club? You know, when you've got Mbappe out, then Vini will step in.
They do, and that's why the best players in the world, because during important moments in the season, that's when they step up. That's when the team needs them. That's when the club, the fans, they all need them, and that's when we see the best moments. They're cool under pressure. They know how to deliver in big moments, and Vini's done it again tonight.
And he believes they can go all the way, Clarence, and you're smiling, maybe agreeing with him.
Well, it's in the DNA of the club. I mean, believing is the difference. It makes really a big difference. Many people don't really get when we say it, you need to believe. But when you really believe more than the opponent, you will see it in the match. You will see it in having that luck a little bit more than the opponent. And as we said, in this phase of the season, in Madrid, this is like home.
3 of the last 4 seasons, the team that has won this tie, as we know they play each other pretty much every season at the moment, has gone on to win the whole thing. So the omens are good for them. Are the omens a bit better, Daniel, for Erling Haaland? He's City's main man who's been on something of a drought by his incredible standards, but got going again tonight.
Yeah, he got himself in the positions that we used to seeing him score goals, you know. He'll obviously be disappointed with his performance in the first leg, but I feel tonight he can come away feeling like, listen, man, I gave it everything. At least I was getting my chances. the hardest part is to be in the areas and time everything right. You know, for him, he's set such high standards, you know, for such a long time. And I'm sure he'll be really disappointed because on another day, maybe he could have scored a couple and it could have looked a little bit different, but these are gilt-edged chances, you know, especially with 10 men. You've got to ensure all of them go in, but he'll be happy he scored, just disappointed and absolutely gutted that they're obviously not advancing.
Came off obviously quite early, didn't he, as well, Wayne? I think that's with a nod to the weekend.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Would like to see him stay on a little bit longer and you know, for City to try and get that second goal to go and put Madrid under pressure. But yeah, no, listen, I think Pep and Haaland, that everyone really knew that the tie was over, and they've got a big final coming up at the weekend, so I'm sure he'll get rested up. But what I did like about him at the end of the game here, when we seen all players on the pitch, he was going around all his teammates trying to, you know, to lift them, and that's really important to bounce back from this. And they've got a final coming up, so it was really nice to see him going around his teammates trying to lift his teammates. You know, there's no shame in losing to Real Madrid, and they have to just regroup now and try and get ready for the final.
So Jeremy Doku came over and gave you a bit of a hug there, Clarence. It was a good night for him again tonight.
Yeah, and I think he will just get better and better in making his choices, when to do what, but dangerous player constantly. A bit like Vinícius, every time he has the possibility to do a 1v1, he takes it on. Even with two players, he takes it on. I think that he needs a little bit of mechanism now with his, let's say, teammates up front to find some more connection, which is normal because he wasn't always playing in the past, right?
Yeah, and we know his qualities, you know what I mean? I think it is just the timing. That's the one thing I think from a striker's point of view, you always want to have that feeling of knowing exactly where your teammate's going to put the ball, where to position yourself, and the timing of that. With him, it's slightly unpredictable, but I think he's a really top player, maybe can score more goals too.
OK, let's hear from him. He was talking to Gabriel Clark just a few moments ago.
Well, Jeremy, a lot of positivity, a great start as well. It didn't quite happen, did it, for City tonight?
No, I feel like we had a lot of chances. We played well, especially at 10 against 11. Playing against a team like that is always going to be difficult, but to be fair, I feel like we did well. So yeah, obviously we're disappointed with the loss today.
Can you believe it's 5-1 on aggregate after the two games?
No, it's a hard reality, but I feel like when you experience the games and when you look at the game, it doesn't feel like they were much better than us. When you look at the score, it feels like it's obvious, but that was not the case. So yeah, that's why it's a bit disappointing for us.
It's tough to take. Well, Real Madrid were beaten by Manchester City in the league phase. They've beaten you twice now. Is this a much better Real Madrid team?
I don't know. Good question. I feel like it's different. Every game is different. But like I said, they're playing there, losing 3-0. Obviously, that changed the game here. They play a bit more defensive and wait for us to lose the ball. They don't need to score, you know. So that changes the game. Obviously, Real Madrid has always had a good team, so we know their quality. But I feel like today we did well, even against 11.
How's Bernardo Silva? So disappointing for him on a personal level. The first red card of his whole career.
Oh, really? Obviously, he's our captain. He's, I think, even the most disappointed of all of us. But it's not his fault. Like, he tried to defend, so we're not angry at him or anything, you know. So look, like I said, even with 10 against 11, we did well. So yeah, it's just a bit unlucky.
And I suppose for players who've come after 2023 when you won this trophy, that team in 2023 had to learn some hard lessons to go on and win the Champions League. Is this a similar cycle?
Yeah, I feel like if your mistakes need to pay you, they need to pay you a lesson. And I feel like this campaign will teach us a lot and will help us a lot for the further ones. So yeah, we will analyze the game and see what we can do better and qualify for the Champions League. Look forward to the game on Sunday as well, and we will be back.
I was going to say the best cure for a hangover is go out and win a cup. Win the cup final on Saturday.
Exactly.
On Sunday.
Exactly. that will do us very well. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
It's tough that, though, isn't it? It's easier said than done. I guess, you know, you want a winning momentum going into a final as well. And we look back to last season when Liverpool went out and in the last 16 phase to PSG and ended up losing the Carabao Cup. You would rather be going in on a victory?
Yeah, of course, and I think momentum is huge at this stage of the season, and I think Clarence mentioned it earlier on, when you've got that momentum, which Arsenal have now at the minute, you see, well, they've had it most of the season, it gives confidence, and you get that feeling, that belief that you're not going to lose a game of football. But when you lose a game or you lose a couple of games and then you're knocked out the Champions League, you're on the back foot in the Premier League, this game on Sunday becomes bigger, and then your confidence is a little bit thinking, your memory thinks of the last 2 games, and it doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, Daniel.
I mean, yeah, I think for City now, I think in that dressing room they're probably thinking we just need to make sure we lock in and get ourselves a trophy, man. Because I think the season, at the very beginning of the season, there was a very different feeling. I think as the season's kind of gone on, there's been a lot of different obstacles and pressures along the team. They've pushed Arsenal in the Premier League, and then you see a night like tonight, it brings you on a downer. You need something to lift the place. We're not used to seeing City suffer, especially during Pep Guardiola's tenure. He's been fantastic, and they've been challenging and winning consistently. So this feels like a strange season for them, very different than they used to. So this weekend will be a chance for them to turn back to their old selves.
They'll have to look back to some of those chances maybe in that first half, because Courtois, who came off obviously at half-time, was made to work, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and Man City, as I said earlier on, Man City, they went at Madrid and they caused them problems. But Courtois, again, you look at his saves he's made throughout the
4
2
saves
ties. This was incredible. This save is incredible, and he's such a good goalkeeper. And when you've got a goalkeeper behind you, if you're at back 4 or back 5, whatever you're playing, it gives you confidence and gives you belief that you're not going to concede. It makes it a lot easier for you to go out and defend. But City did break the defence down, but they just couldn't get past Courtois that many times, and I think he's probably the best keeper in the world.
Well, the manager, Arbeloa, has got some good words to say about him and a couple of the other Real Madrid players, and he's with Gabriel.
Congratulations. I know you were pleased with the performance in the first leg, the best performance of the season, but where do you place tonight's performance?
So happy. We've beaten Man City at home. That everyone knows how difficult is that. So really happy with the score. We won at the end 5-1. It's not easy to beat Manchester City, a squad like that, with amazing players, with a coach like Pep. So really happy.
Well, you were a little fortunate to be ahead still in the tie after 20 minutes. I mean, Manchester City had a lot of chances.
We knew that they are gonna press us, and they wanted to score in the first 15-20 minutes. We knew that, and obviously maybe we need to have the ball a little bit more in that minutes. But after the penalty, I think everything changed, and it was a little bit easy for us.
Your goalkeeper Thibaut went off at half-time. Is he the best goalkeeper in the world?
I think so. I think maybe the best in the history. So we are so happy to have with us.
How is he? Nothing serious?
Nothing serious.
No. So how do you look at this competition now? Because Manchester City beat you in the league phase. You've beaten them twice now. This looks like a Real team that is really improving.
Yes,
under you.
Yeah, of course we are improving, and we know if we want to have a chance to beat Bayern Munich, we have to be a team and to work all together and to be really narrow, really compact, and a lot of commitment. After that, we have quality, and obviously Bayern Munich will be really difficult, like Man City has been in this chance.
And there's one right back to another finally. How is Trent Alexander-Arnold doing? He looks like he's getting better by the game.
Yes, he's getting better. He has a lot of quality. He's now more involved with his teammates, and I'm so proud of him. So he's happy, I'm happy. Everything is getting better.
We'll expect to be in the England squad, back in the England squad this week, I think.
He deserves it.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well, that squad is announced on Thursday, so we shall see. Let's go back to Courtois, though, and his comments there about him being the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. You've played with a fair few good ones in your times. I know a lot of the goalkeepers that we work with, Wayne, would say that the likes of Joe Hart would say he's one of his favourite goalkeepers. The modern goalkeeper seems to really admire his qualities.
Yeah, but I don't think there's such a focus on Courtois with his feet. I think when you look at goalkeepers around the world now. The one question is, can they use the feet? And which, you know, of course it helps if they can, but I think his main quality is keeping the ball out the back of the net, which a goalkeeper is meant to do, and he probably is the best in the world right now, and he's okay with his feet, but some of these saves instinctively, you know, he's a big lad, but he's quick, he gets across his goal really quick, so yeah, he's such a hard goalkeeper to score past.
8 saves across the tie, Clarence. How does he compare for you to some of the best that you've played with?
Oh, we shouldn't compare, because I've also played with quite some good ones. Van der Sar, Dida, that I consider top. But he is absolutely the best, I think, in saving goals, because that is the most important thing, the job of a goalkeeper, and he does it in important moments, which makes all the difference in the world. Any team that actually has performed over the years of my career, the goalkeeper really makes a difference for those moments, that one moment. I remember even when we went to the final against Inter Milan, we had one big save in the last 5 minutes. Without that save, we wouldn't go to the final of Champions League. So great to see him in this shape, absolutely.
Yeah, Daniel, who have you played with that you've admired from the other end of the pitch?
Alisson, Peter Cech, Harty as well, obviously. I'd say probably Alisson and Peter Cech were the two. And I hope I haven't dissed anyone. If I have forgotten you, I apologise, man. It's not. It's still love. But yeah,
start pinging.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to avoid. You feel me? But yeah, we see good brother Trent coming in here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. What's this one?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hi, Trent. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the win, getting through to the quarter-final. This club just seems to come to life at this stage of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the most important time of the season. I think these are the important games. Every game's a kind of a cup final now. But, you know, I've said before, there's an expectation when you join the club to go far in this competition and win it. And I think everybody knows that, you know, the Champions League is embedded in the identity of the club. So, you know, there's an expectation, and we thrive with that, and it brings the best out of us.
We go back a week, and many felt that Manchester City had their best chance ever of going out there and doing something, and Valverde kind of tore the whole game apart, didn't he? And really put an incredible performance in. When you look at the fact that you've had Mbappe missing, Jude Bellingham missing, and you get these players stepping up like Vinícius tonight, it must be an incredible kind of feeling around the club when you know there's talent everywhere you look.
Yeah, not only that, but young players who have stepped up as well. I think, you know, Mami tonight, Thiago as well, tonight and also last week. Put in incredible performances, but you know, at a club like this, you know, big players step up on the big stage, and last week, you know, Fede's put in one of the best performances that people will ever see, to be honest. And then tonight, you know, Vini shows he's world class again by scoring the 2 goals and getting us the win. So, you know, not only him, I think the 2 centre halves over the 2 legs have been outstanding. Aurelian too. Not everybody's putting a shift, everybody defended well, and you know, I think, you know, over the 2 legs we've deserved to go through.
Trent, good to see you, brother. By the way, you're looking well. I see you got the sun on your skin, looking good. We used to game planning with Liverpool, right? We had a style that we played with against Manchester City. What is the difference between that game plan and playing for Real Madrid going up against Manchester City?
Well, I think the game plan was to play football. Of course, they were always going to have possession. They were going to create chances. It was about absorbing the pressure, especially early doors. They wanted an early goal. We knew that coming into the game. It was about kind of killing the momentum as good as possible. But I think, you know, our mentality was to come here and win. You know, we come in with a 3-goal advantage, but we didn't want to just sit back and kind of hope that they didn't score and get back into the tie. It was about coming here and winning. So we came here and done that, and you know, we're proud of our performance, the way that we defended, the way that we attacked as well. We had a lot of chances. Could have put the game to bed kind of in the first half, I think, but you know, the most important thing in knockout football is going through to the next round. It doesn't matter how you play. At the end of the day, I think you can play as well as you can, but when people look back, they'll see who goes through and who didn't.
City have been big rivals to you over the last few years, trying to win the Premier League. How does it feel coming back here, come back to England? Was it more pressure, obviously, come back here to play against them? And how sweet does it feel, obviously, going through?
No, I think it was nice to win here, to get one over on them. Like you said, they've snatched a lot of Premier League medals away from me and Liverpool, but I think it's amazing to be back here. I've always enjoyed playing here. I've always felt like the biggest games. Man City always a top club, so going into it, whoever you play for, it's always going to be a tough game. But I think our mentality was, like I said, to come here and win, and I think that was the most important thing for us today.
Clarence?
I mean, you have dealt with some injuries and all that stuff. Now you're back happily. How does it feel? Do you feel integrated completely already? Because it's not hard, it's not easy, right, to just come in such a club and also different country, different city, everything.
Yeah, of course. I think I knew what I was kind of getting myself into when I made the decision. I knew it was going to challenge me, not just on the pitch, but also off it. A completely different culture, language, style of football, within the league as well, within the country, a different style of football, a different way of playing the game. But the people, the city, the players, the staff have really made me feel at home from minute one. I can't thank them enough. They've accepted me. They've encouraged me to be myself, to play the way that I think I know that I can play, and also the way that they want me to play as well. So I think I'm with the manager. He's filled me with a lot of confidence, showing trust in me, and giving me a lot of minutes. So hopefully stay fit from now to the end of the season, and we keep pushing on both fronts.
And enjoy the World Cup.
Hopefully.
We heard from your manager just finally, Trent, just then, really impressed with your performance and generally impressed by you, and saying you deserve to be in the England squad that's going to be announced this week.
Oh, that's very kind of him. No, like I said, he's shown a lot of trust in me. He's given me a lot of minutes, filled me with a lot of confidence, and enabled me to play the way that I know that I can.
The other manager, Thomas Tuchel, has he been on the phone?
No, I haven't spoken to him yet. But no, obviously the squad gets announced this week, so hopefully I'm in that and able to go and represent my country, which is always an honour.
It would end a pretty good week, wouldn't it? I'm sure, if that call comes.
Yeah, of course, but there's another game on Sunday as well, which will be difficult for us. So Madrid derby. So there's also that to focus on.
Yeah, lots going on.
Very busy.
Thank you so much
Thank
for joining
you very
us.
much.
Have a safe journey home.
Thank you.
And, we might see you in the latter stages.
Hopefully.
You never know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that England squad is announced on Thursday. Wayne, would you expect to see Trent's name on the list?
Listen, if Trent's playing, he's fully fit and he's playing, his quality is there for all to see. And England have got obviously Reece James has been in really good form of late. So, but what Trent's done for England, he's been really good. I've said it many times. I think defensively he needs to improve because he's. But to counteract that, he's probably the best. Well, he is the best with the ball at his feet. There's no doubt about that. So he's got big strengths, but still a little bit of improvement defensively, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think defensively, the individual defense from his side, you will always have some spaces. So I think it needs to be compensated with who's playing next to him. You will get some stuff more offensively with him, and really, and I think that needs to be compensated by the coach. Actually, I mean, he's not going to change so much. I think in these games.
Yeah. Okay, should we give the final word then to Pep Guardiola, who spoke to Gabriel Clark?
Well, Pep, a really bright start, a lot of excitement around the stadium, but it wasn't to be tonight.
Yeah, it's just the feeling. What would happen, 11-11. That is just the feeling. So it's difficult with 4-0 down, with 10 against 11. But yeah, we give everything.
Yeah, what is the feeling about your team tonight, having played 3/4 of the game with 10 men?
We have an extraordinary team, an extraordinary group of players. The future is bright.
And is it about learning on a night like this? I mean, your team of 2023 had some suffering to do. and went on to win.
But a little bit is learning, but that is learning 11 against 11. We should be what happened, you know. And we never know. Maybe we lose 6-0. You know, never know. But it's just the fact.
Yeah, there's a sense of what if you take one of those, two of those, three of those shots early on. You're looking at them now, I think.
Yeah, that was the. Courtois is a fantastic keeper. That is. It happened in the first half. In the first 15, 20 minutes in Madrid today, that was fine, because after that the scores we could score in 10 against 11, so that is more difficult.
Álvaro Arbeloa has just called Thibaut Courtois the best goalkeeper in history.
Okay.
That's how proud they are, and obviously how much they rely on him.
Yeah, normally in here they had always the best player on the pitch, so that means how good we are. So I know how we're going to play. It's just that the feeling that said, give me the chance to play again 11 against 11. You know, that's all.
Yeah, how was Bernardo Silva? That's the first red card of his career.
Yeah, reaction instinct. So it's a big punish, no? Penalty and red card, that. But here's what it is. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What do you make of his demeanour there, Wayne?
Yeah, he's disappointed. He's upset, and you know, he's a serial winner. He doesn't like losing, and yes, he keeps saying, "Give me 11v11." You never know what happens, but football is a game of moment, and the moment from Bernardo Silva, as Clan said, is instinctive. But it's the right call. It's a penalty and it's a red card. That's the rules. And City over the two legs, we were not good enough to go through. Real Madrid were clinical. They punished Man City, and I think the right winner went through over the two legs.
Yeah, when you look at that record of Pep's in his seasons here since 2016, do you think he would look back on his time here whenever that comes to an end and think the Champions League was one that he didn't quite push on as much as he wanted to for this club?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, there's no discussion about Pep's quality as a coach. I mean, just to put that as a first statement. And he makes a choice, and I think it's a philosophy. He wants to score one goal more than the opponent. That is a bit the philosophy and the culture, his football culture. But it comes on a high price when you play against the best players in the world at a certain point, semi-finals, quarter-finals. So I think that the defensive part of his game could be improved. But I don't think he's going to change, because he has done so many great things, you know, playing the way he does. And well, good for him. Today was unfortunate, I have to say.
Can they turn it around, and can he turn it around on Sunday, and how?
They can turn it around. We've seen the quality they've had and the chances they created today. They just had 10 men, and playing against a formidable team, someone who can hurt you on, you know, with their attack. So, you know, I don't doubt they're going to cause Arsenal problems in the game. You know, they always have very close matches, very competitive matches, and it will be an explosive game for sure.
It will. There you go. You can see their next run of matches and back-to-back cup matches there, with an FA Cup tie against Liverpool as well. So it could just be the league to focus on if that doesn't go their way. But has that slipped away? Who knows? Sorry, you're going to come in there, Clarence.
No, I just wanted to say also, if you hear the comments of the players, and they feel that they played well. So the self-esteem is there. They don't feel hurt by this defeat the way it went. So I think we can expect a pretty good final from this side.
Some pretty shocking news in world football tonight. Brahim Diaz, of course, has now qualified for the quarterfinals of the Champions League with Real Madrid, but he would have come off the pitch tonight and found out he's also an AFCON winner, because it was announced tonight that Senegal have seen their title removed because of the period of time they spent away off the pitch, if you remember, in that final, and it has now been awarded to Morocco. I don't have many more details to bring you than that, but just extraordinary in the weeks since that decision has come to pass tonight.
It's crazy, and if I was a Morocco player, then I wouldn't really want to accept it, because Senegal beat them fair and square. So yeah, but